T. Grizzley is hands down one of the most sinister stories that we have covered on this channel. What started as an inspiring rags to riches tale has become one of the most disturbing cases of betrayal in hip-hop history. From breaking into dorm rooms at Michigan State to allegedly orchestrating the murder of his own pregnant aunt and manager, T. Grizzley's story shows how fame and success can mask the darkest of intentions. After losing his father to street violence, T would allegedly go on to order a hit on the woman who believed in him the most, turning his pain into profit while blood money funded his rise to stardom.
Grizzly neither, he a bitch. Turn that T Grizzly off, fuck dog.
Shots fired into an SUV, killing the manager and family member of a popular Detroit rapper.
They hit her on her side and her arm. She get hit her face, and I just all on her side. You feel me?
Y'all niggas ain't did shit to them other niggas.
Say no more, nigga.
Fuck you talking about, nigga.
I'm on your ass.
Fuck some dead ass niggas, nigga.
T. Grizzley was born and raised in Detroit's dangerous West Side, known as the Scud Zone, surrounded by gang activity from day one. The area was heavily infested with Bloods, Crips, GDs, Vice Lords, and countless cliques like YNF and RTM, which T and his brother Marcellus would become heavily affiliated with. Their parents were both active in the streets, with their house operating as a legitimate trap house where drugs were cooked and sold daily. Despite his chaotic environment, T stayed focused on education. His uncles and local Detroit rappers like Blade Icewood inspired him to start rapping at 11, though he didn't see it going anywhere initially. In 2011, T formed All Stars Ball Hard with childhood friends All Star Lee and Poe Campaign. Poe had his own studio, which became their headquarters. However, this year brought T his first major loss, when his mother was indicted for selling drugs to federal agents and sentenced to 15 years in prison. What fans didn't know was that T and his friends were part of Related Through Money, or RTM, a criminal organization operating out of the Scud Zone that specializes in smash and grab jewelry store robberies across multiple states, using sledgehammers to break display cases before running to getaway cars. Tragedy struck in 2012 when T's father was killed in a mistaken identity. Some guys who worked for his father returned his car after a shootout without telling him. When T's father went out to stand on the porch, enemies drove past thinking it was the same car and opened fire. This devastated T, as his father was his strongest relationship. After graduating high school, T was accepted into Michigan State University to study finance and accounting, making him the first in his family to attend college. However, when one of his friends showed up with $11,000 from breaking into dorms, T wanted in immediately. What followed as a systematic operation where T and his friend broke into dorms at night, stealing laptops, iPhones, and cash. They pulled off 12 robberies, recovering $20,000 in merchandise and cash. T's dorm room looked like an electronics store with 40 laptops and 20 iPhones stashed inside. When police tried to arrest T, one of his friends moved all stolen goods to his room, tampering with evidence and forcing police to spend months building a proper case. As a result, T was kicked out of MSU, but before facing charges, he made a life-changing decision. In July 2014, while receiving a call from Lansing police telling him to turn himself in, T was actually headed to Kentucky with 4 other RTM members to rob the Castle Jewelry and Pawn using sledgehammers. When they arrived, on a 90-degree day wearing hoodies, the owner became suspicious. T told him that they were boxers just trying to lose weight. After waiting, T smashed the display case, but before they could escape, a customer pulled out a firearm and ordered them to the ground. This botched robbery would later be used as evidence in a massive federal RICO case against RTM. In April 2015, federal authorities rounded up 7 gang members on racketeering, murder, and robbery charges using Facebook posts, digital surveillance, and testimony from an RTM insider who had flipped. However, T discovered a legal loophole while studying law books in jail. For armed robbery charges to stick, perpetrators must threaten someone with a weapon. Since they only smashed the glass before being held at gunpoint, charges were reduced to destruction of property. Incredibly, T narrowly escaped being included in the RTM federal indictment, even though the castle robbery was mentioned as a predicate act. Maybe because his case was processed quickly, the feds didn't include him in the larger conspiracy case. This twist of fate proved life-changing, as T avoided the decades-long prison sentences his former associates received, at least for now. T served 9 months in the Kentucky jail, where he got his stage name T Grizzley, from his grown-out beard, untamed dreads, and wild behavior. He used this time to write lyrics for his debut mixtape, My Moment, released in October 2016. After being released in October 2016, he immediately recorded First Day Out. The song was shot outside of Ryan Correctional Facility with T wearing his jail clothes. He paid, for Show Magazine, $250 to host the video. Released November 7th, 2016, it went viral, racking up 2 million views in 3 weeks, and eventually reaching over 70 million views. The success was immediate. Celebrities like LeBron James were seen rapping along.
Hit the rolling stone with the rolling on.
This led to show bookings nationwide, even though T only had one song, and landed him a 300 entertainment record deal within 2 months. T capitalized with Straight to It, featuring Bang Gang, another huge hit.
How that nigga T get out that RTM indictment? What? I wasn't on that case.
Going into 2017, Second Day Out and No Effort solidified his status as Detroit's hottest new rapper. Looking at his YouTube channel shows incredible numbers. First Day Out sits at over 300 million views. From the D to the A, featuring Lil Yachty, has over 100 million views. While IDGAF, featuring Chris Brown, reached 87 million. Success continued with Lil Yachty collaborations and BET Award nominations, though he lost both to Cardi B. But tragedy struck in August 2019 when his aunt and manager JB was killed in a targeted shooting. T had got out of an Uber to visit his cousin when a gunman approached the vehicle and shot JB 8 times.
Shots fired into an SUV, killing the manager and family member of a popular Detroit rapper. Off the top tonight at 11, investigators trying to determine if rapper T Grizzley was actually the intended target.
He was with his aunt when those shots were fired on Detroit's east side.
Detroit police responded to the area of 3 Mile Drive just off Mack Tuesday night on the city's east side. They were out to collect evidence of multiple bullet casings regarding the deadly shooting here. It turns out someone opened fire on a black Chrysler with 3 people inside.
The rumor is that the killer was targeting T, but JB became the victim instead.
So basically what happened, they walked up to my door and opened my door. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas opened my door trying to get at me. Ended up hitting her up.
Where'd they hit her on the body?
They hit her on her side and her arm. She didn't get hit her face, and just all on her side. You feel me?
How many times?
On the side where her heart at.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, on the side like where her heart at too, so that shit was fucked up. She got shot like that before a long time ago, my uncle.
Okay.
His car got shot up, and she got hit in the exact same place, but she lived. You know what I'm saying? Because she went straight to the hospital.
Okay.
My uncle drove straight to the hospital as soon as it happened. But
was she alive when did she die on the scene or the hospital?
I think that no, she died at the hospital. She was still alive. She was still breathing and everything. She called me.
She called you?
While she was shot, she called me.
What'd she say?
I was trying to talk to her. I didn't hear what she was saying.
Oh.
She couldn't really form no words. You know what I'm saying? But like niggas was coming for me because they opened my door.
Okay.
They were shooting in the car. They hit her 8 times though.
And you have no idea where this came from?
No, I ain't got no idea where it came from. But it ain't even matter where it came from. I feel like everybody was a suspect. I feel like everybody was a suspect. So even if a person wasn't a suspect, if I didn't like that person, it was escalated. My dislike for them was escalated times 10.
T channeled his grief into Satish, which reached over 50 million views.
And still shot, what she do to you? We was just winning, now I'm crying at your funeral.
In the song, he addressed rumors about their close relationship and made eerie lyrics about finding the murder weapon, which happened just months after the song released. When T finally got off parole, it opened unlimited possibilities. He continued building his empire, eventually discovering a new revenue stream during the pandemic through Twitch streaming, and his Grand Theft Auto server called Grizzly World, generating $50,000 per week.
Y'all niggas ain't being shit to them other niggas. They no more, nigga. Fuck you talking about, nigga. I'm on your ass. Fuck them dead ass niggas, nigga.
Throughout his success, T remained connected to the family. When baby Grizzley was released from prison in 2020, T gave him jewelry, money, and a record deal. When their mother was granted compassionate release after 8 years, the family reunited. However, baby Grizzley found himself in legal trouble just days later. The situation got complicated when baby Grizzley was pulled over in a white Maserati with 4 guns in the back seat. He attempted to bribe the driver to take responsibility, offering $20,000 and calling someone he referred to as T. This backfired when federal prosecutors prosecutors used the recorded bribery attempt to secure an enhanced sentence. However, T's story took a shocking turn in 2025 when Chicago gang member 600 Wu-Tang was arrested for JB's murder. The arrest revealed that he was caught with the murder weapon 2 months after the killing, and cell phone data placed him at the crime scene for 2 hours on the day of the incident. What made this explosive was that 600 is closely affiliated with OTF and Lil Durk's crew, the same people T had been collaborating with musically. The revelation sent shockwaves through social media, with conspiracy theories suggesting that T may have orchestrated his own aunt's murder. The fact that he continued working with 600 affiliated artists like Buka 600 even after JB's death raised serious questions. Some pointed to his overly confident lyrics in Satish and his seemingly casual attitude in interviews as red flags. But the situation became even more explosive when Wu-Tang's defense attorney went to court and made a stunning claim. According to court transcripts, the defense attorney stated that T Grizzley put the hit out on JB, even alleging that she was pregnant at the time. While prosecutors brought in experts to testify that JB was not pregnant, the fact that this information came from the murder suspect's legal team suggests that the shooter is providing details to his attorney about who ordered the killing. What makes this even more damning is that police reportedly became suspicious of T almost immediately. Sources claim that police chief looked T in the eyes and said, "I know you're involved somehow. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this." The chief told JB's family that they believed T was involved somehow. The suspicion arose partly because T's uncle, who was married to JB, had gone to jail 3 months before her death, and during those 3 months, T had allegedly begun an intimate relationship with JB. Additional details make the case even more suspicious. The driver testified that the shooting happened just 45 seconds after T got out of the vehicle, meaning that T was visibly on the porch when the gunman approached. Given T's size, 6'3" and over 300 pounds, he would have been impossible to miss. Yet the shooter specifically targeted JB in the backseat instead. Even more concerning, Wu-Tang's cell phone data showed that he had been waiting at the location for 2 hours before T and JB arrived, suggesting someone had tipped him off about their plans. Wild rumors spread claiming everything from romantic relationships to business disputes, and even people close to the situation reportedly questioning T's involvement. Sada Baby, who was also managed by JB and had to identify her body, allegedly looked T in the eyes and asked him to confirm he had nothing to do with it. Though T has denied all allegations and called all the internet speculation absolute nonsense, the defense attorney's court statements suggest this case is far from over. Whether these are just coincidences or something more sinister remains to be seen, but this case has become one of the most controversial stories in hip-hop, showing how success and street politics can create the most complicated and tragic situations. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.